football start. But, guys, let's dive into topics today. We got a jam-packed show. Before we do that, a reminder that today's show is brought to you by Upside. Are you still paying full price for gas? Well, stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the Upside app in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash at the pump. Use our limited time promo. The code is touchdown, and you get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill-up. You can make up to $300 a year back from buying gas you already needed. At first, I thought it was too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Don't let this offer drive by. Download the free Upside app now by using our limited time promo code touchdown for a limited time 25 cent per gallon bonus. That is promo code touchdown. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. Bull, Tyvis, and G, our first topic of our first show of the official football season
thankfully,
is simple. We have talked at length about Joe Flacco. He is officially the Browns starting quarterback in 2025, and a lot of people seem to be convinced that Joe Flacco this year will be a carbon copy of the Joe Flacco the Browns got for that final playoff push back in 2023. If you look at the numbers since Joe Flacco left Baltimore, and Ant, you can take this full if you want, Joe Flacco's numbers in Cleveland and everywhere else since Baltimore, so 2019, 2020, 21, 22, and 24, the numbers are relatively similar. However, the win-loss record is drastically different. He went 4-1 in his 5 starts with Cleveland. Everywhere else, he's 5-18. So, Bull,
the 5-18, I assume, does not include the 4-1?
Does not include the 4-1.
Okay.
That is every other start he made for a team since Baltimore, not named the Browns. So, Bull, are you convinced we are going to get a repeat of 2023 from Joe Flacco this season as the starter? Or are you less convinced and think the bigger track record says it may not be that high level of play?
I mean, as you said, if you look at the numbers overall, they don't look that much different percentage-wise, except for the wins and losses. And the wins and losses, 5 games is a small sample size. Joe did some good things here. Joe didn't play great in those 5 games. He had his moments where he played well, but 8 interceptions in 5 games is terrible. Now, he threw a million touchdowns. We were all caught up in what was going on. The Browns probably shouldn't have been that good that year. They were overachieving, and we all got caught up in because when the Browns added Joe Flacco, you didn't expect anything. He hadn't played well before that. He was out of the league for the rest of that year, and he came out flinging the ball all over the field. He put up a ton of yardage. He threw a bunch of touchdowns, but he threw a bunch of picks. What he did, the way he played, you're not going to, over a long haul, you can't consistently win playing the way he has played, even the way he played here, even though they did win 4 or 5. So I'm expecting Joe for a couple of weeks to be able to sling the ball around. He'll throw some touchdowns. He'll throw some picks. But there's no way at 40 years old, when he has not been a regular starter in a decade almost, not quite a decade, but a long time, that he's going to be able to consistently play at a high level. And again, I don't think he played at a high level here, in my opinion. I think he played better than average, but he wasn't great. We're so not used to seeing big passing numbers from Browns quarterbacks that we ignored all the negatives. Yeah. I think that's what happened. So I think we'll have some games like that. But eventually, there's no way he's going to be able to keep it up and sustain that for a year. It's just not possible.
So how many games is he the starter?
I thought all along 4 to 6.
Nostalgia is a funny thing. When you look back at something, you could be 40-something years old. You get to a point right now, and you look back and say, "Man, I wish I was a kid again."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But then you go back. And then you have to really start listening what you had to do as a kid. Like waking up at 6 a.m, going to school is not cool. No. Eating vegetables when you don't want to. How your mom gonna tell you to eat vegetables? I don't want vegetables. I should be able to just decline that. Come on, bro. I don't want those today. Yeah. Just random things that happen when you were a little kid. And you start to think, maybe being a kid wasn't that dope after all. Maybe there were some ups and downs. I just remember the good stuff. With Joe Flacco, we had such terrible quarterback play with your boy, P.J. Walker, DTR. Wow. They was winning, they was coasting, and then they was getting over the fact, Deshaun Watson, it was a deflation because we was like, he was playing well, and then now he got hurt, and then now we got Joe Flacco. Let's see what he could do. And he came out for the first 3 or 4 games and threw for 300 yards. But if you want to see what the upside and the downside is, just go back and watch the Houston Texans game. Go back and watch the playoff game, and it gives you the ups when you watch the Jets game and on that primetime game throwing the ball, and then you get the downs, Tyvis. You get the 3 interceptions, the 2 pick sixes, and you're like, wow, this game was over before we even started. So I think you have to caution yourself to say, I can't naturally just believe that he's going to give me those many upside games in terms of winning or losing. And by the way, one of those games of those 5-18, the Cleveland Browns made the worst blunder in NFL history by letting somebody come back. What are they down? The Jets was down 20-some points or something.
Yep.
And the Cleveland Browns let them come back with Joe Flacco at home. So he probably would have won 4 games. So yes, there's a possibility he plays well, but
Tyvis, you talking about the 2-minute thing?
Yeah.
No, that was Joe Flacco was the quarterback.
Oh, yeah, he was
I know.
right. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He should have lost that game.
Yeah.
He's talking about you're talking about his non-Browns
his non-Browns wins, right? Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, do you expect him to like come out and just be crazy? Like, you gonna be throwing for 300? You gonna keep doing that, or what's the deal?
So I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? This Sunday, I expect him to be on fire. I think he's gonna have probably the best game he's gonna have all season. Why? Because he needs to. The fact that you're going up against Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, I know that they play offense and he plays offense, but the competitor in him is going to want to show, like, I'm 40, but I can still sling this thing. I can still get 300 yards. So I expect him to be on fire. However, when you see the rest of that schedule after that game right there, defenses get a little bit better. And I just think there's going to be some moments that they're going to bait him into him throwing some interceptions. Not saying that he's not going to be productive, but the interceptions, I believe, will turn up in those games. And it's going to cause some frustration. And I think that's, at some point, that's where it's going to fall off the cliff. So I'm not expecting this unbelievable version of Joe Flacco. What I do expect him to do is give the team a sense of confidence, and I think everything's going to go really well in week 1. I really do. Baltimore, he's going to be extremely motivated because that's where he used to play. So he's going to try to play as hard, and I think he's going to overdo it and make some mistakes in that game, and I think they're going to feed off of that. And then it's going to be dicey coming back because now he had a good game, he had a bad game. The narrative is the 40-year-old guy, is the age finally catching up to him? And I think when they play the Packers, I think that he's going to have some opportunities in that game to make some big throws. But that pass rush is going to be a little bit better now that they got Micah Parsons. I don't really trust their secondary too much. I think they just decent. So I think there will be chances for him to make a play. But I think after that it falls off. I think about week 4, they roll with him for the Lions. He starts to look like he regressed. Week 5, they force it a little bit more. And I think they make the switch about for week 5, week 6. I think is when they make the switch at the quarterback position. That's my expectations, and that's the version of Joe that I think we're going to see this year.
The problem with this is there's some other things, and we will talk about it later on in the show. There's some other things that I think are red flags that will hinder Joe Flacco from being more consistent. The thing that I look at is, and I'm scared to death about, is this running game. Like, the play action game is great when you can hand the ball off and you can get 4 or 5 yards. I ain't seen the Cleveland Browns in 3 years hand the ball off and get 3-4 yards at will. Some of the run plays, I don't know what they're trying to really do. Are they gap scheme? Are they zone scheme? Outside zone? I didn't see much of what the run game was supposed to be in the preseason. Obviously, they don't like to show too much. But the offensive line and can you run the football is going to play a great deal of impact on whether Joe Flacco can really sustain or play multiple weeks, because he needs a good running game. You can't have him sitting back there and it's 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 8. That's not you can't sustain that. So I'm looking at this run game and I want to see how that translates, because they have to run the football, and I haven't seen that in a while.
Well, to be fair, when he was here the last time, Nick Chubb had already got hurt. But the only big difference is just a coaching change. Who was the O-line coach that went to Tennessee?
Bill Callahan.
Bill Callahan is gone.
Right.
So that's that's the major difference from when he was here the first time and where he is now.
Yeah, new OC
they
also.
got a new OC, new offensive line coach, because they fired Andy Dickerson last year. So will those guys gel? Are they going to be able to create run situations like Bill Callahan did? Can they have these offensive line groomed up? Because there are going to be injuries at some point of this season. That's just the nature of the game.
Yep.
When that next person rolls in, will they still be able to pick it up? Because if you remember, Joe, when he was here 2 years ago, we was down to our 3rd and 4th string tackles.
Right. See, Joe has enough of what I call one of those arms where Joe can still make a lot of throws that a lot of people can't. And Joe has the cachet that he'll throw the ball in areas where if you had a rookie or a quarterback that's a young guy, you would tell him, do not ever throw that backside. Joe's just going to throw that. At this point, he don't care. So that's how he ends up with some interceptions. But when you do that, you can open up the game a little bit and you can get the ball moving, because he's always one shot away from throwing a deep ball. That's how Amari Cooper caught, was a flash in the pan, because he was just like, yeah, listen, hey, Amari, we're going to go deep and we're going to get these chunk plays. But if you can't consistently matriculate the ball downfield, and especially if you don't have a home run threat where you can get quick points, it's an uphill battle if you can't run the ball. I'm waiting to see what Jerome Ford is going to do. And have we got anything on Ethan Pochich? Before I left,
Yes,
I think he's going to be okay.
He practiced in
yesterday.
limited capacity yesterday, but was on the right side, trending in the right direction of being able to
It's
play
big
on
that
Sunday.
you have your starting center. You don't want to be going with the backup center.
Whoa, we got Luke. We good. Go Bucks.
Stop it.
Luke Whippler fan in the building.
Yeah, okay.
Luke Whippler going to be the starting center next year, so you might as well get his rest time.
How's Billy Price looking these days?
Billy's doing well.
Are you friends with him?
I am friends with Billy. Billy's doing well.
The bust he was.
Hey, he got
What
paid.
happened to Mango?
Billy got paid, and Billy has a great family, and he's living good.
Good,
Unfortunately, he had the health conditions, and that's why he had to retire. But
All right.
he's doing
Good.
well.
Glad he's doing well. All right, Mike.
We can move on. One last question on Flacco,
Yeah.
and then we'll get to our next topic here. But for people who are convinced that it'll be a copy and paste,
No,
you
that's-
kind of alluded to it earlier,
Yeah.
Bull, that even that style of play, it's hard to win. And the record kind of shows.
If you look at who they played during that stretch versus who they're going to play in the first 5 games this year, if he's throwing 2-3 picks a game, they're not going to win any of these games. I don't care if he throws 4 touchdowns.
They'll win the first one.
I'm not even. Here's what I'm
You
saying.
think if he throws 2 picks in this game, they're going to win against the Bengals?
Hey, I know.
Good luck.
I know. See, this is the thing, boy.
Yeah.
I'll give credit to
Boy,
this.
that's the Homer Cincinnati
Nah.
fan.
I do not do homers.
Yes, it is.
I don't believe in homers.
They
Hey.
get overcome too.
I don't
get
believe in
turnovers
homerism.
against
I don't
the
believe in
Bengals.
homerism.
I understand that y'all saw the Bengals struggle on defense in preseason. I get that.
Man,
Yeah.
did they?
But come on, bro. People acting like this the worst defense people
I mean,
have
it's
ever
crazy.
seen. Like once again, I've been showing the hypocrisy and choosing what you believe in preseason.
Yeah.
On one hand, preseason don't matter because it's on your team.
Yeah.
But when it was on another team, bro,
Gee,
what?
who do they have outside of Trey? Name me somebody outside of Trey Hendrickson and Shamar Stewart.
Here's
Logan Wilson's not a good player?
I'm not talking to you.
I don't got to know the players. I ask him.
Name me somebody outside of
There's
them
3.
2 days.
Here's what I'm gonna say to you.
Yeah.
And retort. If you on Cincinnati's defense, they're gonna say, name me one receiver besides Jerry Jeudy.
That's fair.
Name me any running backs. Name me.
Oh, well, they can name you that.
Who? Jerome Ford?
He there?
They-
Now you
what-
said name.
Listen,
one.
like,
I ain't
what
say
I-
he was
They're
good.
not, they are
I
not
ain't say he was
scared.
What
good.
I'll
I
say,
said
and
name.
G is right. Listen, the Bengals defense last year was terrible.
It's not that good, but
It was actually better the second half of last year. and not surprisingly, they won their last 6 games. It was too late, obviously. I don't think their defense is going to be good this year, but I do think it'll be a little better than it was last year, and that's all they need. This idea, and G is right. And listen, who knows? Maybe the Browns score 40 points this week. Nothing would surprise me. But this idea that because the Bengals defense looked terrible in the preseason means it's a short thing, they're terrible, is beyond
But
stupid.
they didn't look just terrible in the preseason. They looked terrible all last season.
But they improved as the season went along.
Here's all I'm saying is, listen, I learned my lesson last year. I'm not chalking nobody up. If they're on the schedule, I'm not chalking up no wins. Or they're terrible. We should dominate this. No.
First of all, we're not in a position to do that.
Thank you. We are not.
The Browns are
We are the team that everybody
the Browns
I just want to come in.
The Browns are the least, according to the odds this morning, the least likely team in football to win their division. They're -3. They're plus 3,000 to win the North.
Hey, I'm just watching games at this point.
Yeah,
you just.
You
hey,
saying
I want
that
to
like
see.
we
I want
done
to
went out and got Patty or something. we ain't in no position to talk anything.
I want to just see what
All right,
y'all
Mike.
gonna
Speaking
do.
of the Bengals defense, let's get to some of these things here.
Yeah, this